Yeah. Okay. So many questions were asked. Now, Sukadev Goswami is answering the questions of Parikshit Maharaj. Right? That is our chapter. Let us see the seventh verse. Nishamya tat vaktudi drikshayadisho vilokya tatranya dasha tapashyamanaha swadhyamanyaya vismushya tatritam tapas tapas tapasyupadishta yadade manaha. Let us see. Nishamya. After hearing that Vaktru, the speaker, then Vidrukshaya, just to find out who spoke, Dishaha on sides, Vilokya, Vilokya, seeing Tatra, there, Anya, any other, then Apashyamanaha, not to be found. Swadishyam, on his lotus seat, Asthaya, sit down, Vimrushya, thinking, Tatit, welcome is Hitam, welfare, Tapasi, finance, Upadishu, as he was instructed, Iva, Vipasvasa, Adate, gave attention. So when he heard the sound, he tried to find the speaker, searching on all sides. But when he was unable to find anyone besides himself, he thought it wise to sit down on his lotus seat firmly and give his attention to the execution of finance as he was instructed. So he saw who told me now, tap, tap, tap. He heard the sound. So he was looking on all the sides. He found no one. Then he thought, let me sit and do the penance. He has heard. So here, the emphasis is on the hearing process. So now we are also hearing the glories about the holy name. Kalir Kane Nama Rupe Krishna. So we should have that faith in the hearing process. So here, Brahmaji, who is our Adi Guru in our Sampradaya, is the one to whom Krishna has spoken. Brahmaji, from our Sampradaya starts with Brahma. So Brahmaji is setting an example that just by hearing, he has only heard, he has not seen the person. He has heard tap, 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 immediately he sat. So here, the first line, Prabhupada writes, to achieve success in life, one should follow the example of Brahma. What did he do? The first living creature in the beginning of the creation. First thing he did was, he heard, he did tapasya. And how was tapasya? He was fixed up in the tapasya. So much of faith. Okay. Bindu, read.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, I joined 8th verse. Divyam sahasrabdham amokha darshanam.
7th verse.
Mataji, 7.
7. Okay. Nishamya tad vikrata didrakshayo disho vilokya tatranyat apamshyamanaha swadishnyam asathaya vimbrashya taditam tapasyu padishta ivadade manaha. Translation. When he heard the sound, he tried to find the speaker, searching on all sides. But when he was unable to find anyone besides himself, he thought it wise to sit down on his lotus seat firmly and give his attention to the execution of penance as he was instructed. Purport. To achieve success in life, one should follow the example of Lord Brahma. the first living creature in the beginning of creation. After being initiated by the Supreme Lord to execute tapasya, he was fixed in his determination to do it. And although he could not find anyone besides himself, he could rightly understand that the sound was transmitted by the Lord himself. Brahma was the only living being at that time because there was no other creation and none could be found there except himself. In the beginning of the first canto, in the first chapter, first verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it has already been mentioned that Brahma was initiated by the Lord from within. The Lord is within every living entity as a super soul, and he initiated Brahma because Brahma was willing to receive the initiation. The Lord can similarly initiate everyone who is inclined to have it. As already stated, Brahma is the original spiritual master for the universe,
ज्ञान दी प्रभु म्यूट करिए
and
just
since
mute
he
your
was
phone
and since he was initiated by the Lord himself, the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam is coming down by disciplic succession, and in order to receive the real message of Srimad Bhagavatam, one should approach the current link or spiritual master in the chain of disciplic succession. After being initiated by the proper spiritual master in that chain of succession, one should engage himself in the discharge of tapasya in the execution of devotional service. One should not, however, think himself on the level of Brahma to be initiated directly by the Lord from inside, because in the present age no one can be accepted to be as pure as Brahma. The post of Brahma to officiate in the creation of the universe is offered to the most pure living being, and unless one is so qualified, one cannot expect to be treated like Brahmaji directly. But one can have the same facilities through unalloyed devotees of the Lord through spiritual instruction, as revealed in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam especially, and also through the bona fide spiritual master available to the sincere soul. The Lord himself appears as a spiritual master to a person who is sincere in heart about serving the Lord. Therefore, the bona fide spiritual master who happens to meet the sincere devotee should be accepted as the most confidential and beloved representative of the Lord. If a person is posted under the guidance of such a bona fide spiritual master, it may be accepted without any doubt that the desiring person has achieved the grace of the Lord. Hare Krishna Mataji.
so grace of the Lord is he instructed directly. So this is the grace the Lord told him that you do tapasya. So in this way Brahmaji obeyed also. We should see how Brahmaji obeyed to the instructions. Very important. He obeyed to the instructions, and that is how Krishna is emphasizing on hearing process. Shravanam. Divyam sahasradam amoghadarshanam jitanilatma vijito bhayendriyaha. This I not put my chashma. Atapyata smakila lokatapanam tapas tapi. Somebody has to help me. Chashma I kept in another place. Read the last line. Tapas tapiyas tapatam samahitaha. Distorted way I can read. Okay. Divyam, pertaining to the demigods in the higher planets. Okay. Next is, what's the next one word? Sahasra, 1000. Okay. Pertaining to the higher planets, demigods, and Sahasra is 1000. Then comes Abdam, years, Amogha, spotless without a tinge of impurity. Darshanaha, one who has such a vision. Jita, controlled. Then Nila, life. Atma, mind. Vijita, controlled over. Vaya, both. Indriya, one who has such senses. Atapyataha, executed finance. Sma, in the past. Akilaha, all. Loka, planet. Then Tapanam, enlightening. Tapaha, finance. Tapiyan, extremely hard finance. The tapasam of all the executors of finance, samatitahan, that started. So Lord Brahma underwent finances for 1000 years by the calculation of demigods. He heard this transcendental vibration from the sky and accepted it as divine. Thus, he controlled his mind and senses, and the finance executed were a great lesson for the living entities. Thus, he is known as the greatest for ascetics. So again, the same has been spoken that how many years he did this tapasya? Not just 1 or 2 days, 1000 celestial years. So 1000 celestial years, that refers to how many of the earthly planets. It is 1000 years of the divine planets. It is a long time with tapasya sitting on asthaya, sitting on the lotus seat, and then just following the instruction. And he just considered the sound as completely divine because Lord was spoken. And for doing tapasya, what is most important, controlling the mind and senses. Is very important. Controlling the mind and senses. So this is known as this is the lesson. So he is the greatest of all ascetics. Brahmaji. Okay, Aruna. When you are reading, you keep your ears off.
Hare Krishna. Text 8. Divyam Sahasrabdam Amogha.
Keep your video off and read.
Video off, Mataji. Off. Video off already. Divyam Sahasrabdam Amogha Darshano. Jita Nilatma Vijito Bayendriyaha. Atapya Tasma Khilaloka Tapastapiyam Stapatam Samahitaha. Translation. Lord Brahma underwent penances for 1000 years by the calculations of the demigods. He heard this transcendental vibration from the sky and he accepted it as divine. Thus, he controlled his mind and senses, and the penances he executed were a great lesson for the living entities. Thus, he is known as the greatest of all ascetics. Purport Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Brahma heard the occult sound tapa, but he did not see the person who vibrated the sound, and still he accepted the instruction as beneficial for him, and therefore he engaged himself in meditation for 1000 celestial years. One celestial year is equal to 6 into 30 into 12 into 1000 of our years. His acceptance of the sound was due to his pure vision of the absolute nature of the Lord. And due to his correct vision, he made no distinction between the Lord and Lord's instruction. There is no difference between the Lord and sound vibration coming from him, even though he is not personally present. The best way of understanding is to accept such divine instruction, and Brahma, the prime spiritual master of everyone, is a living example of this process of receiving transcendental knowledge. The potency of transcendental sound is never minimized because the vibrator is apparently absent. Therefore, the potency of transcendental sound is never minimized because the vibrator is apparently absent. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or any revealed scripture in the world is never to be accepted as an ordinary mundane sound without transcendental potency. One has to receive the transcendental sound from the right source, accept it as reality, and prosecute the direction without hesitation. The secret of success is to receive the sound from the right source of a bona fide spiritual master. Mundane, manufactured sound has no potency, and as such, seemingly transcendental sound received from an unauthorized person also has no potency. One should be qualified enough to discern such transcendental potency, and either by discriminating or by fortunate chance, if one is able to receive the transcendental sound from the bona fide spiritual master, his path of liberation is guaranteed. The disciple, however, must be ready to execute the order of the bona fide spiritual master as Lord Brahma executed the instruction of his spiritual master, the Lord himself. Following the order of the bona fide spiritual master is the only duty of the disciple, and this completely faithful execution of the order of a bona fide spiritual master if the is the secret of success. Lord Brahma controlled his two grades of senses by means of sense perception and sense organs because he had to engage such senses in the execution of the order of the Lord. Therefore, controlling the senses means engaging them in the transcendental service of the Lord. The Lord's order descends in disciplic succession through the bona fide spiritual master, and thus execution of the order of a bona fide spiritual master is factual control of the senses. Such execution of penance in full faith and sincerity made Brahmaji so powerful that he became the creator of the universe. And because he was able to attain such power, he is called the best among all tapasvis. Hare Krishna.
So executed with great sincerity, with the mind and the senses in control. That is how Brahma, he became the greatest of all the ascetics that is has been given. Greatest of all ascetics. He is the initiator of the Sampradaya, Brahmaji. And it is not just the Brahma Sampradaya, everyone has to follow that has been given. Everybody has to follow to what Brahmaji has done. Brahmaji is for everyone first. So how Brahmaji listened, how he had so much of faith, that has been given. तस्मै स्वलोकं भगवान् सभाजितः सन्दर्शयामास परं न यत्परं प्रपेतसङ्क्लेशविमोहसात्वसम् पुरुषैरभिष्टुतम्. So, Tasmai, unto him, Swalokam, his own planet or abode, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, then Sabhajitaha, be pleased by the penance of Brahma. Then what Lord did? Sandarshayam, Asaha, manifested, Param, the Supreme, Na, not, yet of which, Param, further Supreme, then Vyapeta, completely given up, then Sanklesha, 5 kinds of little afflictions, removed without illusion, sadhvasam, fear of existence, swadrishtavadibihi, by those who have perfectly realized the self, Purushaiva persons, adhishtakun, worshipped by. Translation: the personality of Godhead, being very much satisfied with the finance of Brahma, was pleased to manifest his personal abode, Vaikuntha, the supreme planet of above all others. This transcendental abode of the Lord is adored by all self-realized persons, freed from all kinds of miseries and fear of illusory existence. So Lord is very pleased. When Lord is very pleased, then only he can give his abode. That is how, because sincerely Brahmaji did the tapasya, Lord is pleased with him, and he manifested his abode. He showed his abode to Brahma. So that is how, yes, Sukadeva Goswami is actually answering the two questions, the first two questions. How Brahmaji was initiated, and how he followed the instructions. It all has been given. Now, in this verse, the ninth verse, you see, the Lord is very happy. So, what did he show? Mahavaikuntha Yesh. There is nothing superior to that. And then, how is this Vaikuntha? There is no kunta, there is no suffering, there is no confusion. It is free from all offenses. And all the demigods, they praise Vaikuntha. So this Svalokam, his loka, Mahavaikuntha, which is the topmost that has been shown, which is free from apeta. Apeta means free from misery, sanklesha, free from suffering. So in this way, free from hatred, no mental confusion, all has been. So that is how Vaikuntha means there is no kuntha. Okay. So first there is no misery, there is no confusion, there is no hatred, then there is no ignorance, advesha, viniveshata, no ego, no attachment, no hatred, no changing of life. So vimoha, no confusion, no vimoha, no confusion. And then sadvasam, fear of offenses, that is also not there. And everybody is praising. Vibhu dahi, that means everybody is praising. It's completely free from all the vices. These vices have been written very elaborately by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Very elaborate explanation has been given about the vices. Hatred is not there, attachment is not there, confusion is not there, greed is not there. All these things has been given. Vimoha, that means vimoha is not there, confusion is not there, ego is not there. So that is Vaikuntha. That Vaikuntha has been shown. So now Brahma does tapasya and Lord is very happy. Okay. Bindu, can you read?
Hare Krishna Mataji. तस्मै स्वलोकं भगवान् समाजितः सन्दर्शयाम् आस परं न यत्परं व्यपेत संक्लेश विमुह सात्वतं स्वदृष्टवाग्भिः पुरुषैरभिष्टुतम्. Translation: the personality of Godhead, being thus very much satisfied with the presence of Lord Brahma, was pleased to manifest his personal abode Vaikuntha, the supreme planet above all others. This transcendental abode of the Lord is adored by all self-realized persons, freed from all kinds of miseries and fear of illusionary existence. Purport: the troubles of penance accepted by the Lord Brahma were certainly in the line of devotional service, Bhakti. Otherwise, there was no chance that Vaikuntha or Swalokam, the Lord's personal abode, would become visible to Brahmaji. The personal abodes of the Lord, known as Vaikunthas, are neither mythical nor material, or as conceived by the impersonalists. But realization of the transcendental abode of the Lord is possible only through devotional service, and thus the devotees enter into such abodes. There is undoubtedly trouble in executing penance, but the trouble accepted in executing Bhakti Yoga is transcendental happiness from the very beginning, whereas the trouble of penance is in other processes of self realization, Dhyana Yoga, etc., without without any Vaikuntha realization, ends in trouble only and nothing more. There is no profit in beating husk without grain. Similarly, there is no profit in executing troublesome penances other than Bhakti Yoga for self realization. Executing Bhakti Yoga is exactly like sitting on the lotus sprout out of the abdomen of the transcendental personality of Godhead. For Lord Brahma was seated there. Brahmaji was able to please the Lord, and the Lord was also pleased to show Brahmaji his personal abode. Srila Jiva Goswami, in the comments of his Karma Sandarbha, annotation of Srimad Bhagavatam, cites quotations from the Garga Upanishad, Vedic evidence. It is said that Agyanavalkya described Yagna Valkya described the transcendental abode of the Lord of Gargi, and that the abode of Lord is situated above the highest planet of the universe, namely Brahmaloka. This abode of the Lord, although described in revealed scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, remains only a myth for the less intelligent class of men with a poor fund of knowledge. Herein, the word Swadrishtvadahi is very significant. One who has actually realized his self realizes the transcendental form of oneself. Impersonal realization of the self and the supreme is not complete because it is just an opposite of conception of material personalities. The personality of Godhead and the personalities of devotees of the Lord are all transcendental. They do not have material bodies. The material body is overcast with 5 kinds of miserable conditions, namely ignorance, material conception, attachment, hatred, and absorption. As long as one is overwhelmed by these 5 kinds of material miseries, there is no question of entering into the Vaikuntha Lokas. The impersonal conception of oneself is just the negation of material personality and is far from the positive existence of personal form. The personal forms of the transcendental abode will be explained in the following verses. Brahmaji also described the highest planet of Vaikuntha Loka as Goloka Vrindavan, where the Lord resides as a cowherd boy, keeping transcendental Surbi cows and surrounded by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. Chintamani Prakara Sadma Supalpa Viksha Lakshavratesha Surbhiravipalantam Lakshmi Sahasra Sakashambram Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Brahma Samhita 5.29. The statement of the Bhagavad Gita, Yat Gatvana Nivartante Taddama Paramam Mama, is also confirmed herewith. Param means transcendental Brahman. Therefore, the abode of the Lord is also Brahman, non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is known as Vaikuntha, and his abode is also known as Vaikuntha. Such Vaikuntha realization and worship can be made possible by transcendental form and sense. Hare Krishna Mataji.
So Chintamani Prakara Satmasi Kalpa Vriksha Lakshavteshu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrama Sevyamanam Govindam Adipurusham Tamantacham. That is his abode. It is Chintamani abode. Kalpa Vriksha, all the wish fulfilling desire trees are there. And then it's Param. Lakshavati, so many cows are there, Laksha. Sahasra Lakshmis are serving Krishna. That is his abode. So that has been shown to Brahmaji. That is why Brahmaji writes Chintamani. Brahma Samhita is written by Brahmaji only. How did he write? Lord showed this abode. That is why he did. Sahasra Lakshmis are serving. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamam Bhajami. And Surabhi cows are serving there. And therefore the abode is also known as Brahman, non-different from the Supreme Lord. So Lord is known as Vaikuntha. His abode is also known as Vaikuntha. So in this way, Vaikuntha Loka is shown by Lord to Brahmaji, and Brahmaji is writing about is describing this Vaikuntha Loka. Now you will say, what is an Goloka? Goloka is also Vaikuntha Loka. Again, there is no missing Goloka. Here, Vaikuntha Loka or as Golok Vrindavan also described the highest planet of the Vaikuntha Loka as Golok Vrindavan. So what Lord showed him is actually Golok Vrindavan. So it is given here, the supreme planet above all, where Lord is actually as a cowherd boy. Lord showed that scene, cowherd boy scene. Sahasra Lakshmis are also serving. So all the gopis are all who? They are the source of Lakshmi. In fact, Radharani is the source of Lakshmi. Now, in this way, Vaikuntha Loka, which is the highest, here the supreme planet above all, Param has been given. What has been shown is Goloka Vrindavan Dham. Okay. And even the Vaikuntha Lokas are also his Lokas only. Swaloka. That is also his Loka. There was no chance that Vaikuntha, the personal abode, would become visible to Brahmaji. The second line. Why it could not be visible? If he would have not done tapasya. That means this trouble which has been taken by Brahmaji, that became the the strength for getting this darshan. That means to go to Vaikuntha Loka or Vrindavan Dham, Golok Vrindavan. The first important thing is one has to do tapasya. Voluntarily accept difficulties while serving Krishna. Now Bhakti Yoga has been spoken. This Bhakti Yoga, even though there is difficulty, it gives transcendental happiness. But Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, though it will give some self-realization, it is not going to give that bliss. So Sat and Chit will be accomplished, but Ananda is not accomplished. That is why only by Bhakti Yoga, it is very easy to go to Vaikuntha Loka. And if the consciousness is like more higher, more to Raga Bhakti, Raganuga Bhakti, then one can go even to the Vrindavan Dham, Goloka Vrindavan. It all depends upon our consciousness. Even to reach Vaikuntha Loka also one has to have a lot of love for Krishna. And but that love which is little beyond Vaidhi Bhakti, then it becomes beyond Vaidhi Bhakti. It means spontaneous following the footprints of the Parshadas of Krishna like Yashoda Mata, Gopas, Gopis. If that much consciousness is there, where a person doesn't know the supremacy of Lord, but is more interested in the sweetness of Lord. Very sweet dealings with the Lord, where the opulence of Lord is hidden. It all depends on the consciousness. But even to go to Vaikuntha Loka, now let us start with the Vaikuntha Loka. Even to get that Vaikuntha Loka it also requires tapasya. Then depending on one's consciousness, you can go more higher. Okay. प्रवर्तते यत्र रजस्तमस्तयोः सत्त्वं च मिश्रं न च कालविक्रमः न यत्र माया किमुता परे हरे अनुव्रता यत्र सुरासुरार्चिताः प्रवर्तते prevailing yatra wherein rajah tamah the modes of passion and ignorance tayo of both of them sattvam the mode of goodness cha and mishram mixture cha never cha and kala time vikramaha influence na neither yatra therein maya illusory external energy kim what utaha there is apare others hare of the personality of God, Anuvrataha, devotees, Yatra, wherein Sura by the demigods, Asura and the demons, Archita, worship. So in that personal abode of the Lord, the material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail, nor is there any of their influence in goodness. There is no predominance of the influence of time. So what to speak of illusory external energy? It cannot enter that region. Without discrimination, both the demigods and demons worship the Lord as devotees. So, Vaikuntha Loka is also known as Tripada Vibhuti. What is Tripada Vibhuti? It is 3 times bigger than the material universe. Tripada Vibhuti. In this way, Vaikuntha Loka has been described in nutshell also. Na tadvasayate suryo na shashanko na pavaka. Yadgatva Yadgatva nivartante tadhama paramam. Whoever goes there doesn't come back again. So that has also been described here. It is beyond. The first verse of Bhagavatam, what has been given? First verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. What is the first verse? Well. Janmadasya tunmayadi kartaha chartesha vigyasvara tene brahmarudayadi kavaye viyanti yat suraya tejo vari muda yatha vinvayu yatra trisargo usha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimai nirasta kuhakam. There is no kuhaka. There is no modes. There is no material modes. Tene brahmarudayadi kavaye. To Brahmaji, who is Adi Kavi, Lord gave the Brahma Jnanam. This Brahma Jnanam is showed the Brahman. That means his own abode is also known as Brahman. And in this way, this is beyond. There is no Kuhaka, means there is no illusion. Illusion is beyond the 3 modes of material nature. Illusion is because of the 3 modes of material nature. And this is beyond the 3 modes of material nature. There is no illusion. There is no external energy. That is why Satyam Param Dhimahi. Satyam Param Dhimahi. This is the object of worship. It's a big purpose. So the Prabhupada writes. Okay. So one word has been described here. And here Padma Puran verse also has been given. Tripada Vibhuti Rupam Tu Shrunu Udara Nandini. So here Vishwanath Thakur writes about this. That where is the spiritual world? It is beyond the material realm. What is flowing in between the 2? Virja river. Pradhana Parama Vyamora Antare Virja Nadi. Beyond the 2 is Virja. In between the 2 is Virja. So beyond that river lies this place which is known as Tripada. And the spiritual world is always sweet, young, and eternally blissful. We will find here the trees which has become old, the leaves which has become old. But there, here people have become old, the animals become old. But that is always Nava Rasam. And that is why this also abode is known as Shuddha Sattva. There is no decay of anything. And because there is no influence of time. That is what the Vedas say. It is no contamination is there, no destruction is there. It is not having an old age. It doesn't have any stages like somebody is sleeping, somebody has woken up, somebody is dreaming. That stages are also not there. And Padma Puran speaks about it. The sun, moon, fire is not needed there. Na tadvasate suryo, na shashanko na pavakah, yadgatva nivartate tadhama paramam mama. This verse is also there in Padma Puran. Then it has been spoken. Whoever goes there doesn't come back. And there are many inhabitants in Vaikuntha Loka. 6 types of transformation also doesn't happen. Taking birth, growing, becoming old, producing, all these things is also not there. So all these things have been spoken. So inhabitants are described. How they are, they're always associates of the Lord. They always act in compliance with Lord. That is why Anuvrataha has been given. They act for the pleasure of the Lord. That is why Lord has to come here. Why Lord came? Because in Vaikuntha, everybody is listening to him. He is not able to show Bala, Virrasa. Now he wants all the 6 opulences which Lord has. One is all powerful. How is he going to prove this? He has to show Bala to someone. In Vaikuntha, he cannot show this Bala. So that is why he sends his own Parshadas. You become demons. I'll come. I'll show the power. Then all the devotees will be very happy. Leelaitena Bhuvanani Jayat Tejasram. They all will be very happy. That is how Lord appears. The internal reason of Lord's appearance is this one. Vaikuntha is actually fed up. Everybody are praising him. Everybody are serving him. Sometimes even father feels like that. Sometimes to have some Veera Rasa. So the Veera Rasa to experience he comes. And also in Vaikuntha, in Golok Vrindavan, no one is married to anyone. Everybody belongs to Krishna. Or Krishna thought, let me also enjoy some other's wife. So which is the topmost of the rasa, Parakiya Bhava Rasa. That is why he sends the gopis. You become others' wives. Radharani, you become others' wife. That is why to experience that rasa, Veera Rasa, Parakiya Bhava Rasa, Krishna appears. So every incarnation, when Lord descends, he has an internal reason, external reason. Like we have for Chaitanya also. What is internal reason? Experience the Mahima of Radharani's love. Experience what is there with him. How is he so beautiful that she's so attracted? And what is the Sukha she's experiencing? So this is the internal reason. So Krishna appears because that is Vaikuntha, no Kuntha. So Lord thinks, okay, let me come. Let me experience. What to experience? I am all powerful. Let me show to the whole world. Because it has been given. He is Bhagavan. He has all the qualities in full. So Padma Puran speaks about Vaikuntha. No Rajas, no Tamas. And then Narada Pancharatra also speaks. Vaikuntha is endowed with 6 transcendental qualities. It is devoid of 3 material gunas and is not attainable for non-Vaishnavas. So all the transcendental qualities has been given in the Padma Puran. No Rajas, Tamas. No decay. No time influence. No contamination. No material consciousness. All these things have been described. Okay. Vaishnava, read the whole thing.
Hare Krishna Mataji. प्रवर्तते यत्र रजस्तमस्तयोः सत्त्वं च मिश्रं न च कालविक्रमः न यत्र माया किम् उता परे हरे अनुव्रता यत्र सुरासुराचिताः Translation: in that personal abode of the Lord, the material modes of ignorance and passion do not prevail, nor is there any of their influence in goodness. There is no predominance of the influence of time. So, what to speak of the illusory external energy? It cannot enter that region. Without discrimination, both the demigods and the demons worship the Lord as devotees. The kingdom of God, or the atmosphere of the Vaikuntha nature, which is called the Tripada Vibhuti, is 3 times bigger than the material universes and is described here as also in the Bhagavad Gita in a nutshell. This universe, containing billions of stars and planets, is one of the billions of such universes clustered together within the compass of the Mahatattva. And all these millions and billions of universes combined together constitute only 1/4 of the magnitude of the whole creation of the Lord. There's the spiritual sky also. Beyond the sky are the spiritual planets under the names of Vaikuntha. And all of them constitute 3/4 of the entire creation of the Lord. God's creations are always innumerable. Even the leaves of a tree cannot be counted by a man, nor can the hairs on his head. However, foolish men are puffed up with the idea of becoming God himself, though unable to create a hair of their own bodies. Man may discover so many wonderful vehicles of journey, but even if he reaches the moon by his much advertised spacecraft, he cannot remain there. The sane man, therefore, without being puffed up, as if he were the God of the universe, abides by the instructions of the Vedic literature, the easiest way to acquire knowledge in transcendence. So let us know through the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam of the nature and constitution of the transcendental world beyond the material sky. In that sky, the material qualities, especially the modes of ignorance and passion, are completely absent. The mode of ignorance influences a living entity to the habit of lust and hankering. And this means that in the Vaikuntha lokas, the living entities are free from these two things. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, in the Brahma Bhuta stage of life, one becomes free from hankering and lamentation. Therefore, the conclusion is that the inhabitants of the Vaikuntha planets are all Brahma Bhuta living entities, as distinguished from the mundane creatures who are all compact in hearing and lamentation. When one is not in the modes of ignorance and passion, one is supposed to be situated in the mode of goodness in the material world. Goodness in the material world also at times becomes contaminated by touches of the modes of passion and ignorance. In the Vaikuntha Loka, it is unalloyed goodness only. The whole situation there is one of freedom from the illusory manifestation of the external energy. Although illusory energy is also part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, illusory energy is differentiated from the Lord. The illusory energy is not, however, false, as claimed by the monist philosophers. The rope accepted as a snake may be an illusion to a particular person, but the rope is a fact, and the snake is also a fact. The illusion of water on the hot desert may be illusion for the ignorant animals searching for water in the desert, but the desert and water are actual facts. Therefore, the material creation of the Lord may be an illusion to the non-devotee, but to a devotee, even the material creation of the Lord is a fact, as a manifestation of his external energy. But this energy of the Lord is not all. The Lord has his internal energy also, which has another creation to be known to be the Vaikuntha Lokas, where there is no ignorance, no passion, no illusion, no past and present. With a poor fund of knowledge, one may be unable to understand the existence of such things as the Vaikuntha atmosphere, but that does not nullify its existence. That spacecraft cannot reach these planets does not mean that there are no such planets, for they are described in the revealed scriptures. As quoted by Srila Jiva Goswami, we can know from the Narad Pancharatra that the transcendental world or Vaikuntha atmosphere is enriched with transcendental qualities. These transcendental qualities, as revealed through the devotional service of the Lord, are distinct from the mundane qualities of ignorance, passion, and goodness. Such qualities are not attainable by the non-devotees class of men. In the Padma Puran, Uttarakhand, it is stated that beyond the 1/4 part of God's creation, it is the 3/4 manifestation. The marginal line between the material manifestation and the spiritual manifestation is the Virija river. And beyond the Virija, which is transcendental current flowing from the perspiration of the body of the Lord, there is the 3/4 manifestation of God's creation. This part is eternal, everlasting, without deterioration, and unlimited. And it contains the highest perfectional stage of living conditions. In the Sankhya Kaumudi, it is stated that unalloyed goodness or transcendence is just opposite to the material modes. All living entities there are eternally associated without any break, and the Lord is the chief and prime entity. In the Agamas Puranas also, the transcendental abode is described as follows. The associated members there are free to go everywhere within the creation of the Lord, and there's no limit to such creation, particularly in the region of the three-fourths magnitude. Since the nature of that region is unlimited, there's no history of such association, nor is there end of it. The conclusion may be drawn that because of the complete absence of the mundane qualities of ignorance and passion, there's no question of creation nor of annihilation. In the material world, everything is created and everything is annihilated, and the duration of life between the creation and annihilation is temporary. In the transcendental realm, there's no creation and no destruction, and thus the duration of life is eternal unlimitedly. In other words, everything in the transcendental world is everlasting, full of knowledge and bliss without deterioration. Since there's no deterioration, there's no past, present, and future in the estimation of time. It is clearly stated in this verse that the influence of time is conspicuous by its absence. The whole material existence is manifested by actions and reactions of elements, which make the influence of time prominent in the matter of past, present, and future. There are no such actions and reactions of cause and effects there. So the cycle of birth, growth, existence, transformations, deterioration, and annihilation, the six material changes, are not existent there. It is the unalloyed manifestation of the energy of the Lord without illusion as experienced here in the material world. The whole Vaikuntha exists proclaims that everyone there is a follower of the Lord. The Lord is the chief leader there without any competition for leadership, and the people in the general are all followers of the Lord. It is confirmed in the Vedas, therefore, that the Lord is the chief leader and all other living entities are subordinate to him. For only the Lord satisfies all the needs of all other living entities. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
The big purport Prabhupada writes, and how it is completely free from all illusory manifestation of the external energy. The six material changes are not seen here. That has been given. Okay, any questions you can ask.
Mataji, may I?
Yeah.
Mataji, there is reference to 5 miserable conditions or kleshas, wherein Prabhupada writes ignorance, material conception, attachment, hatred, and absorption. Ignorance, okay, that is fine. Material conception is fine. Then attachment, hatred, absorption, are they not a part of these two?
Are they not the part of what? Vaikuntha?
No. Part of ignorance and material conception.
Ignorance means forgetfulness of Krishna.
Yes.
Plus. When you forget forgetfulness of Krishna, simple. Ignorance means forgetfulness. Hatred, attachment, it is expansion of it. Because you have forgotten, the next is what reaction? Attachment is the reaction. Instead of attaching ourselves to Krishna, we attach to somebody else. And hatred is negative attachment. Something is known as positive attachment, something negative. But both are actually illusional.
Then absorption?
Yeah, absorption in the materialistic life. Too much absorbed in the family life. Family is everything. Absorbed in some work. Forgetfulness of Krishna. Ignorance leads to all these things. The moment you have forgotten Krishna, everything else comes. Somebody is absorbed in seeing TV. Somebody is absorbed in their mobiles. Facebook is enough to get absorbed. You see, even nowadays devotees also, we have to be very careful. Generally, we like to see how many viewers are there. This is also a part of ignorance. Well, see, nowadays this media has actually made us go away from the books. People don't want to read books. gain knowledge, Prabhupada says, read my books. But you are so absorbed in the Facebook, this and that, what to do? This media has stolen the intelligence also, making us actually forget Krishna, because somewhere what is hidden? Name, desire for name and fame. You see, acharyas, they did not do all these things. You see, our acharyas, they did not do. Even before COVID, nobody did. People used to like to go to temple and serve and come back. No Facebook, no show off to anyone. But the moment this WhatsApp and all has come, we do one seva, we put it at least in many places. I'm talking including me. But this is actually taking us away from our real devotion to Krishna. So we have to be very careful about all these things also. So this absorption word, it is not only referring to, we may say, we are doing uddhar of everyone. But what about our uddhar? We are not giving that time which we should give. You see, at least before all these things, we used to memorize the shlokas, study. Media has pulled us. People becoming famous, drawing people, that is another thing. But then how much? In what extent? But
How do we gaze, Mataji?
to you people that time also, Prabhupada did not do so much advertisement. People came. Nowadays we are trying to do so much of advertisement to draw people. And internal competition on top of that. Just imagine.
How do we come to know, Mataji? How will we come to know? How do we evaluate our own selves?
Yeah, we should see how much we are giving time to sadhana.
No, many times when we think, we feel, wow, I'm a fantastic, I'm doing so nicely. But how will we come to know where actually we stand?
How much interest and how much we are having? How much name, fame, desire. That is actually the subtle contamination. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does Gundicha Marjan, the gross contamination anyhow that has come out. No intoxication, no meat eating, no illicit sex, no gambling. About puja, pratishtha, putanati. How much we have come out of all this thing. That is we have to analyze ourselves. To others, we may appear to be very great devotee, all those things. How much we have come out of it, we have to analyze for ourselves.
Very true.
The analyzing is like we have to go back to the days when we were practically very new. Actually, at the time, we were hankering. We were hankering to get more devotion. Once devotion is there, everything is there, we become complacent. That is also one complacent of the association of the devotees. Don't value. And then the temple grows, or people have started coming, so many people coming, then we don't value the people. All those things we should analyze for ourselves. How much am I really valuing the person? How much am I hankering for the association? So as and when we are growing in devotion, we are progressing, we should analyze ourselves. What are anarthas are still there within us? How much I am really hankering to serve others? It may not be the same like 20 years before when we were young, we can do many things. At least the hankering should be there, allowing others to serve, giving opportunity to serve, pushing everybody ahead, raising everyone. So all these things we should try to do it more and more. Medias are there, no problem. Prabhupada says use everything you can use. But that doesn't mean that we should be so much absorbed in it. It should not take us away from our basic principles of reading, chanting, hearing. These three should be maintained Media jamana is that we have to use it. We cannot go away from it. We cannot throw our mobiles. We have to do it. But three things we should not forget: hearing, chanting, reading. Swati.
Suddenly gone on mute, Mataji. But thank you so much, Mataji, for the explanation. Has Mataji got locked out?
Mataji, no idea. Actually, Mataji has another class now after this, or is it because of that? No idea.
Possibly because I think she's no longer there. Her name is not appearing.
Yeah, she's not there in the group, the chat group. Should we also leave?
Yeah, I think so because it's already time. Maybe Mataji
Yeah,
started the
that's
class.
what, yeah. I think so.
Thank you so much. Vanchaka Patarapasha Kipasandi Patatanam Pavanapya Vaishnavika Antakoti Lashma Vindaki Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Okay, I'll give less tomorrow.